And we're back into this comic studio. Welcome back right here. And we have around 5 days before its final birthday of my channel as well. And that wasn't going to be for such as taking a little bit for one thing as well, unless the depreciation comes on in this month already. So we're going to be searching something even a little bit interesting when I just completely remembered around here that my mother is doing something as well, probably. I remember that my mother has just danced like pretty weird and unknown reference like this thing as well. So I'm probably going to be searching for today. We're going to for dance, not dump as well. We're going to be searching for this thing as well. Let's going to be clicking around here for this thing as search it around as we're probably going to be doing this. So as you can see, this is going to be Just Dance Comic Studio, but there is a little bit more for some sort of like this as well. This is just going to be for probably nothing perfect is going on around here. The recommendations aren't going to be aren't nice for around here because of the mesmerizer has just ruined like those things, including MMD. But nothing just like perfect was pretty ridiculous musics, and for some sort of unknown beats for just like a crazy weirds, and just like this is absolutely for one thing as well. But I have seen Just Dance video on a television for some sort of like this. She completely downloaded for one reason and stored into some sort of like this. Whenever that I just found it out, now especially my mother hasn't going to be doing for such as exercise. Even for one thing, as I just completely remember, when I was highly small. So we might going to be checking out for this a little bit later as well. As we're going to be going for real thing. Let's get into this comic creator and see their why. The banner was actually for some sort of the reference of the adult content around here. Multiple Just Dance games have just came up for a little bit of real for this times as well. Even for a little bit for run here for those things, there are multiple series and year previews like those things, 4 games and multiple years of like those things. The total is gonna be amount of is this 8 games, 11 games, 11 games, 14 to 16 games, but all the way for over 10 years of Just Dance. It's almost going to be for around almost 20 years of Just Dance games, and probably I'm going to be showing up for some spoilers for just a bit as well. That you're seeing this, it was owned by Ubisoft for many years, and many things have just going to be doing something from exercising. This studio is in no way licensed or endorsed by the Ubisoft and the Just Dance team. Credit to Just Dance Wiki fandom and most of the images. The betas as well has removed or unreleased routines are marked as spoilers and cannot be for probably seeing this for using this as when you're actually 13 years old or something. So, or under a 13 that I just going to be telling you about for those things as well. So, credits around here for some sort of the images as well. And unfortunately, that doesn't going to be taking a little bit longer as well. That in case it's going to be taken down and nothing being licensed, that cannot believe this is nowhere to be found as well. And there must be for 16 games, 20 games, and many more as well for some sort of like those things, including such as the Japanese games from the Nintendo Wii. and many more for such as a little bit as well. These games have just absolutely having a lot of characters and kinds of stuff and dances like themselves. Which is pretty, I'm not pretty sure this isn't going to be for just like this. So, we're going to be reviewing for a little bit more. And it's absolutely pretty not going to be for such as a little bit interested. So, it appears extremely slowly. But I just seen the characters like themselves, but aren't like those things, or an icons or the mascots like themselves. Which includes for around for weird stuff as well, including DJs and many other pop stars. Could be for literally anywhere. So we might not able to be finding out as well. As we can see, the user submitted sprites. I never were able to be finding out what I just going to be previewing for as well. And this is absolutely the original Just Dance. In the background, it was already incredible. And Just Dance 2 was a little bit incredible as well. And there must be a lot of characters in Just Dance 3, which aren't going to be appearing for this thing as well. So, in Just Dance 4, this is not going to be completely going to do what it absolutely was. This is going to be concludes for crossovers and many more features and other kinds of games, or it's not going to be for some sort of dancing games. This is absolutely for the bases like for the exercising momentum as well, for some sort of like those things as well. Even for the years by for some sort of like this. The Just Dance year could be for around starting in Just Dance 2014, which is nothing unbelievable since the beginning of the cringe as well. Another one is Just Dance 2015, was actually that we're not gonna be pretty sure. The 2016 year, the 2016 game year could be for another one as well, and even increasing cringe as well. The 2017 game year was even more. It's not going to be a little bit incredible soon as well, but probably for the more cringe start. This is where the cringe has just started around since 2017, but more cringier in 2018 that he just started to watch more videos on YouTube since 2018. This is the 2018 game year, but probably the year of like this thing as well. The 2018 version of Just Dance. I'm not very sure that the mouse cruiser is getting even more worse than I never thought around here for some sort of like this. The 2019 version of Just Dance game wasn't even going for a little bit blooming as well. This is getting even static as well for some sort of like this thing as well. And nothing, of course, that since I'm never going to be completely found it out as well. We found it out a little bit more for some sort of like the backgrounds aren't a little bit incredible for some sort of like this. But cringe dances are going to get a little bit worse than 2021. So this is where the pandemic started around here by 2020. That the eruption has been already occurred around here for some sort of this year. I'm not sure. This is the 2020 version where the worst year just came from around here for those 3 years of the quarantine like this. But probably the people have been ghosted away for some sort of like this. And that must be going for around here for some sort of the beginning of the decade as well. So this is absolutely the decade that I was been for. I found it on the internet videos since the first game came out in 2009 by sometimes as well. Even for some sort of like those things that the first game was released in 2009 and is absolutely for one thing as well. And 1 year later, Just Dance 4 is just gonna be for one more release that's since 2013 or 2012 anyways. So the year production like here for starting around for Just Dance, it completely released in 2009 for the original game version or some sort of like this thing as well. This is absolutely for some sort of like these things as well. But this is where my mother is doing for the ZB dance. That's right, ZB dance for just kicked all the way down as well. But things have just surprising popularity is going to be on the rise for stupidity dance as well. Instead of a moonwalk for some sort of like Michael Jackson, even for some sort of like this, and that even to do this as well, and subjected to be forgetting about for swing, for the big jazz swing dance back in the 1930s, before the Great Depression goes, or not, even for just like this. This is the early decade for around here. This is actually the mid-decade, just going to be for today as well. And Just Dance 2021. This is the 2021 version of the Just Dance, but things have just quite to get a little bit worse for just only one thing. They're probably going to be still here and pretty adult content around here for this thing. The 2022 version wasn't for just like this thing for like probably. It was just the same from over 10 years ago. The 2023 version will turn into some sort of a sky pocket as well. Or some kind of this could be never going to be probably for seeing this for a long time as well. And the Just Dance, this is the last year's version of Just Dance 2024. Probably just turn into some kind of wildly like this thing as well. But that today's version of 2025 was Just Dance that features Minecraft and other kinds of some sort of stuff as well. Now let's move on to the Wii version, and that could be a little bit more weird as well. The second version of the Wii isn't gonna be even possible. The Wii U version could be absolutely almost realistic. Now another is Japanese or Chinese versions of Just Dance was pretty weird, unlike this thing as well. And that the law is that prevents it from dancing longer, which means which is equivalent to minus a lot of social credit cards or social credit points for some sort of like this according to the government. So the other modes could be like even these things as well for some sort of like these, which could be for a ball for this thing as well, and probably something as well. So the other modes could be ball, like dance as well, motorcycles, even for some kind of, even for dance floors, farming, and crazy things with absolutely style and a little bit pretty more. Just no, I'm not gonna be going to do whatever it is, and a little bit for some kind of like those other kinds of things as well. And finally, unreleased beta and removed rule lines. The row lines could be for round of like this. Probably wasn't gonna be probably exist. And it has 2 pages a little bit for themselves as well. The unreleased versions or some kind of features couldn't be for that much as well from something as well, even though that was going to be a little bit weird for some kind of one thing as well, and more from like these things as well. This is the tutorial for probably like we guess around here, and some perks could be for around as many more as well. That features crowns and other kinds of many features and stuff. There must be tachometer and for some sort of the dance lines or some sort of like this. We're finding out for the tutorial could be as even possible as well. The poses were absolutely going to be quite fully like this, which is I'm probably not going to be for saying like this. Even these things could like this as possible. I swear this isn't going to be for such as this, and pretty for some sort of. What is this? Wait, this is a mass attack as well. I'm probably sure this isn't going to be for such as a long time. Oh, there. You gotta be kidding me, man. So, another one is. Oh, there it goes. And the backgrounds as well. So, and the pretty impressive could be for a little bit for pretty much as well. For seeing this, and the stars that features, and oh, there it goes for some sort of like this. This is where Hatsune Miku goes for around here. You might not think that Vinyl Scratch could be doing about for this thing as well. So let's see for the crossover that we're going to be doing this. And especially we're going to be using for the crossovers like this. And that means Ion Cookie Bot. This is not going to be for some sort of stage. It's a not a basic background for as well. This is a late 2000s version that I never seen this crazy, and I'm not gonna be going for around here. That I'm not gonna be possibly saying what I just actually do. So he's here, right here on the dancing floor, and now I might gonna be right back up this video if I just probably going to be finding out whatever it was. And that leads to the end of the part 1. If you're gonna be finding for some sort of like this is absolutely, it's not going to be coming out for a little bit pretty soon for more features around for a lot of sprites for those things as well. You might go to be check it out into the description. And this is where my brother has just danced like a maniac, or not me, for by the way. I dance like a maniac as well for the big swing dance. And of course, you might gotta be check it out into the description below to just doing for some sort of a little bit for one thing as well. You can also doing crossovers itself, and don't do for some sort of the MMD dance as literally. This is not gonna be a means for the recommendation like this. But also you might be able to be browsing some comics whenever you want. Accept cringe content from everywhere to do this as well, and it's probably not sponsored like this. Thanks for watching, for all your support, and I'm gonna be talking to mini lads and comic studio users all later as I'll be signing off.